That's In the Heat of the Moment from Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, and Noel Gallagher's on the phone. Noel, how are you? You're talking to Dermot and Dave on Today FM.
Oh, they're your showbiz names.
Yeah.
Hold on. Noel, in fairness, if you wanted to be in showbiz, would you pick the name Dermot?
I might do if I was teamed up with a fella called Dave.
Hang on, what about Noel? I mean, that's not exactly showbiz.
It's named after Christmas. Okay, there's nothing more showbiz than Christmas.
He's got a point.
Yeah. Thanks for talking to us. We absolutely love your new album.
Oh, thank you.
And we appreciate that you missed out on the World Cup to make it, and we know that was a big sacrifice for you.
I didn't miss out on the World Cup. I watched as much as I could handle, and then I finished it the day after the World Cup final. So there you go.
I'm a massive Man United fan. Okay. And
okay. Goodbye then. Okay, it's nice talking to you. Thank you very much. Don't play the record again. It's not for you. Goodbye.
See, this is the annoying thing, right? I like you and your Citec connections should make me dislike you, but I don't dislike you, and I'm finding it very tough to dislike this particular Man City side.
Well, we have got great players, it has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really covet other teams' players very often, but like, you know, obviously you've got superstars, Aguero and Silva and all, but you know, genuinely who I look at the moment and go, can we not have him? Is James Milner. Yeah, he's a good player, but I don't know why he's not signing his new contracts. I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery. I think it's a bit of a cheek saying to a club like City, "Well, I'll sign as long as I can play every game." You can't say that to a no player in the world can say that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But
what do you think of United at the moment in the Louis van Gaal scenario?
Hilarious. Honest to God, for a start, he looks like one of my aunties. That's for a start. Right. And he was like, when he came to England, he was like this tactical genius. Wasn't it about time he was showing that?
Yeah, look, it's not been an easy couple of years, but I was kind of hoping the Van Gaal arrival would bring us back to where we need to be, but it's not really happening yet, is it?
No, I think there's a lot. Do you know what I think United need is a proper director of football. That Ed Woodward fella, whatever his name is, doesn't seem to cut the mustard for me. But because the players that United have bought, they don't really seem. They're all square pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
Di Maria, surely he should play where he's at his best. But saying all that, it's been an hilarious couple of years, which it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Did you ever think, in your earlier days, that you would end up as a pretty much fully fledged football pundit?
Outside of music, it's my only other thing that I'm remotely interested, apart from my wife and the kids, is watching football.
Good save, no,
I love it. I know. I mean, she does come a distant third. She knows that, though. She's accepted it. But yeah, I mean, I do love watching football, and I do take a keen interest in all of it.
And where were you on that fateful day when Martin Tyler screamed Aguero?
I was in a bar in Santiago in Chile at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, exhausted. By the time the goal went in, it was just the most incredible 45 minutes ever. And it was funny, I was doing a gig that night in Chile, and just before I went on stage, there was a knock on the dressing room door. My tour manager came in and said, it's the British ambassador. He wants to see you. And I said, what does he want? And this guy comes in, and he came in to congratulate me on behalf of congratulate me on City winning the league. And I was looking at him thinking, what on earth is he going on about? And he's saying it must be marvellous for such a long time, and on behalf of everybody at the embassy, I'd like to congratulate you on your stunning achievement. And I was thinking, is he talking about leaving Oasis, or what is he talking about? And it transpired he was talking about City winning the league, and I was like, well, on behalf of the club, thank you very much.
You had such a pivotal role, of course.
Indeed.
Well, as much as you'd like, you don't play for Man City, so you do have an album out at the moment. So let's talk about that for a minute.
First of all, why didn't you give it to us free like Bono did? Hello?
Because Bono obviously doesn't need the money anymore. And unfortunately, I've just bought another new house, and the budget for the kitchen itself has gone through the roof.
And what did you think of that whole U2 album thing?
It's not something I would ever consider, and it worked. I guess it worked for them. I mean, I guess if you're at that stage, what U2 are, why wouldn't they give it away? But
I couldn't see you up on the stage with all the Apple heads, in the chinos and the crisp blue shirts, kind of waving at everybody.
it's not my preferred stomping ground. I've got to say, I'm not. I think Apple have destroyed the world. So
Wow.
I'm not really into that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But they're into technology and moving things forward and all that. I'm not the kind of. I'm into pushing things back. I'm thinking of actually putting another £1 on the price of my record. It's not out for another couple of weeks. I'm toying with the idea now.
Why do you think they've ruined the world?
They've destroyed magic. Because, you know, you can bring the world to your armchair now. So let me see if I can explain. It's like people now don't have to travel the world to get a virtual experience of what the world is like. Do you know what I mean? And I think that there's too much information out there, and if you get products like records and this, that, and the other, you know, beamed directly into your forehead, surely there's no value to it if you've not gone and searched for it and bought it and nurtured it like it's, you know what I mean? It's why we all value our records from our youth, is because we paid for them. We went on the bus into town and got them, and they mean something to us. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now it arrives with no cover. What's all that about? It's not for me, I'm afraid.
How do you listen to music yourself at home?
Through my ears, like everybody else. I mean, I've got an iPod and an iPad. I don't talk about that. I've got all the technology and all that. You have to, you know what I mean? But I don't really listen to music that much at home. I've got to say, I listen to it more when I'm on the road. I've got kind of 3 kids. That kind of really destroys any kind of music listening time you had.
And do you try and introduce them to any acts, like, and you know, I mean, we all kind of have those memories of, you know, listening to stuff with our dads or whatever.
Funnily enough, my 2 lads have become massive U2 fans.
You're kidding?
I'm not, no. And they are Donovan, particularly the eldest, who's 7, that's all he listens to. And my younger lad, who's 4, if he doesn't get to listen to Desire on the way to school, he will literally kick the back of the car in.
I was delighted to see that on your iTunes favourites playlist that you put together, you know, of all your favourite books and music and all that kind of stuff, that the Joshua Tree featured in there. And I mean, that is definitely a classic, isn't it?
Oh, God. I mean, I know a few people who claim not to like it, and it's like, you're lying. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure most of us at some point of our lives have sat through that album, and it is an amazing record. It's a lesson in songwriting.
Certainly is. Noel Gallagher, hang on there for 1 second. We're going to come back in a couple of minutes on Today FM.
McCain Hash Browns with Dermot and Dave on
How are you? It's Dermot and Dave. Text line is open on 53102, or you can email us on live at todayfm.com. Lots of you delighted to be listening to Noel Gallagher, who's on the phone to us. Were there any new influences on you this time round for your latest one?
I guess there's a track on there called The Right Stuff, which is kind of about as far removed from Supersonic as you're ever going to get. It's kind of a little bit of jazz. It's a bit of that. But yeah, I mean, different instruments, really, and not.
There's a saxophone on Riverman, isn't there?
There's a saxophone on Riverman and The Right Stuff, and there was going to be a saxophone on another track, but I got rid of it. Yeah, I don't know. I was just following my instincts this time. I produced the album myself, so I didn't have a producer turning around to me going, "Really, a saxophone?
Do you think that Liam would have allowed a saxophone?
No chance. Do you know what? I was actually when I was recording Riverman, I was thinking, it would be worth reforming Oasis just to play this to Liam and make him sing it.
I know that, you know, in every interview you're doing, they're asking you about a reunion, and we were speculating in the office here before we spoke to you that would there be a TV show angle that you would do a kind of a one-off for charity, or is there a way that it would happen via a TV vehicle?
A TV vehicle? Come dine with me. I could do that.
You could.
Yeah.
What would you tend to put the feed up to with the missus if you were sitting at home watching telly, or do you do that?
We watched that box set recently, House of Cards.
Oh yeah,
which was great.
It is really good, isn't it?
And yeah, we do watch. We don't really watch a lot of TV together. I'm watching the football, and she's watching. You know.
But you were on Gogglebox.
I was indeed. Did you see me? I was
did
great.
See you.
I was plastered as well.
That was one of those things where I just would look like from the very beginning. It's like, I think they've been there for a while.
Well, let me tell you what happened, right? What the producers called me and said, okay, so we've got to be there for 8 and we're starting filming at 8:30. And I went, and let me tell you now, Naomi Campbell won't get there till 2 in the morning. Right? That's for starters. And then after that, there's been another 2 hours arsing about, and she might get going at about 4. So anyway, I thought I'm going to get there at 8 anyway. You know what time her and Kate Moss turned up?
Go on.
10:30.
You're kidding.
So by the time they got there, I had to close one eye to look at what I was thinking, right, so you're definitely both there. But we had a good laugh. It was great.
Have you ever fancied yourself a proper acting?
No.
No.
Into curry.
Have you seen my videos?
Well, as I was
Okay,
saying,
well, that'll do then. We don't need to say that any further.
we were actually looking at the video for the Ballad of the Mighty Eye, and eye is the thing because you seem to have nailed the squinch. You know that.
Hang on a minute. That's a rumour that was put round by the Daily Star. Okay.
In terms of positioning your
Positioning the squinch. Come on. My wife listens to this on the internet.
where you give it that almost, a slight squint, but it's sort of pensive and thoughtful.
Yeah.
And
Well,
moody.
you know what's going through my mind when I do that squinch.
Yeah.
The squinch is me going, I hate this. I hate
videos.
you. I hate the camera. I hate your idea. I hate the fact that it's outside in November. I don't like any of this.
Well,
Can I go on?
You took the reins and you end up producing the album yourself. Now, obviously, you wrote it, so you're doing that. Why don't you try your hand at directing?
I will next time, and
It'll be somewhere hot and indoors.
I will, and I won't be in it.
Well, actually, hire some beautiful models to take care of all that nonsense.
I understand these video directors and all that. They've got a job to do, but really, as soon as I'm all right till somebody shouts action, then I just think I'm not into this. I'm not into this at all. And all I had to do was walk in a straight line. Even that was annoying me.
I have to say, I was kind of happy when BDI broke up, and not because I would ever wish Liam ill. It's because I am a big Ride fan, and now Andy Bell has gone back to Ride, and I'm the happiest man in the world. I'm going over to see them in the UK later in the year.
Oh wow!
Have you any idea what project he would do next, or has he spoken?
I actually seen Andy Bell the other night. Actually,
yeah.
He never mentioned it. It was a brief meeting. We were both happened to bump into each other out, but I don't know what Andy will do next. I would probably say I'm surmising here, same as everybody else. I'd have thought if the gigs go all right, they'll probably attempt to make another record.
Yeah.
Whether Liam and Gem will work together again. I hope they really, really hope they do, because they kind of really understood each other. As Gem in particular understood Liam's vibe, which is probably the only person on the planet who did. And as for the rest of them, I don't know. I was a bit shocked on this, but if I've got to say, I thought that they'd just ride out the storm and kind of carry on, but there you go. You live and learn, didn't you?
We got some listener questions in, if that's all right. We'll just throw a few of them at you very quickly. How many marshmallows do you think you could stuff in your mouth, says Kelly in from Tralee?
Wow, Kelly from Tralee.
These
you
are
must lead a
cutting-edge
very,
questions.
very interesting life. I'm going to say 1.
Okay.
Laura Kay says Noel has strong Irish roots. This can only be proven by asking him how many times he has had potatoes this week. If it's less than 3, you're an imposter.
Oh, I had a packet last week, which was given to me by a very lovely journalist. So I haven't had any potato crisps this week, but I have been drunk 3 days out of the last 7. So
I enjoyed hearing about your night out with Morrissey. And that he'd insist on putting on his own music in the bar. It seems like one of those nights that you'd like to imagine happening that way.
Well, it did happen, should I say. But he's great. He was brilliant. I had a brilliant night out with him, and we both got roaring drunk and were bullying Russell Brand until Russell nearly had a nervous breakdown, which was my favourite part of the evening.
Yeah. Plus, he would have been sober when all this was happening.
Oh, of course. Well, he's a recovering whatever he is, recovering Sagittarius, and he was. We were giving it to him, and rightly so.
Do you give him a gentle ribbing about his social crusading?
Of course. Every time he comes round to my house, I open the door and go, "Oh, no film crew with you today."
Listen, very quickly, your band is called Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds.
Yeah.
I like that.
Me too.
But tell me, there has to be some class of a reason why.
Because I didn't want to go under I didn't want to go just solo under that name, because I didn't think that was showbiz enough. And I thought, I was in the kitchen one day putting some stuff in the dishwasher, and Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac were on the radio, and I thought, wow, what if I was called Noel Gallagher's something?
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me for a while. And then there's a very famous song that was made famous by Jefferson Airplane called High Flying Bird, and that was on the radio a few weeks after that, and I thought, you know what? If I put those two things together, well, isn't that the greatest thing ever?
I could see a kind of a Noel Gallagher and Friends, and you could be wearing sort of Foster and Allen woolly jumpers, sort of sitting around on a fence.
Trust me, Noel Gallagher, and there is a myriad of names I could use. Noel Gallagher and the Guinea Pigs is one.
I think Dermot Whelan really just wants to get you in some kind of a TV studio. He seems to have this fondness for Noel in a TV vehicle.
Well,
Noel's house party.
We could do a reality show maybe where I could choose a new backing band and they could come up with the most ridiculous name.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd watch that.
I would like to have those guys, the Rubber Bandits, as my backing band.
No, you're talking.
Oh, yes, so they're out of the same hometown as myself, out of Limerick. Have you managed to see them live?
No, I just stumbled across one of their things on the internet, on YouTube, and God, it made me laugh so hard. It was unbelievable.
Well, here, they do the music for Russell's The Trues.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Here comes the Trues.
I like their song about Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer is a liar.
Yeah, brilliant.
He's trying to earn a pound now, mate.
Don't you think though? Every time you see the Spurs manager Pochettino, you just think, I'd love him just to come to the camera and go, "All right, Treacle." You're just spitting him as a Danny Dyer, isn't he?
Yes.
Actually, Danny Dyer and Louis van Gaal could have a competition to see who has the biggest forehead. It'd be a close run race.
Indeed.
When are you coming to see us and play?
I'm coming on the 2nd of March.
Are you excited about it?
As you can tell by the sound of my voice, I am overwhelmed.
I think you're also slightly out by 2 days. I think it might be the 4th of March. But we'll listen.
I'll be there on the 2nd anyway.
Well,
so
exactly.
Come, don't come.
Come in and visit us. We would love that, Nolan.
Yes, indeed. Come and see me sound check. It's riveting.
I will. Don't think I won't.
Yeah, Noel said we can come. Let us in. Listen, congratulations on the new album.
Thanks, man.
We're really enjoying playing the new single, and we're really looking forward to having you back in Ireland.
Thank you very much.
No, thanks so much.
Bye.
Right, sound man. Here is his track. This is the Ballad of the Mighty Eye, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds on Today FM.